Okay, good morning, everyone. We're just going to take a few seconds to make sure that everybody who's attending the webinar joins this room. Good morning, good afternoon, Leta.
You?
Okay, we're just testing the sound. I think I can hear you well. Could you please say something again?
Good afternoon to you from
Okay,
Athens, Greece.
everything is working fine. Okay, so I think we're safe to begin. I would like to welcome everybody to this live interview session, which is titled How to Become a Successful Yacht Chef on Luxury Yachts. As part of these live interview series, we intend to bring you the expert advice from various industry leaders, such as Ms Leta Antoniou, that you may see on your camera now.
Hello.
Before we carry forward, I would like to apologize and say that the original host of the webinar, Emanuela Colias, would not be able to join today, so I will be taking her place as the host. Just to introduce myself, my name is Alex Theodorou, and I'm the marketing executive here at SafeBridge. And on the other side, we've got Ms Leta Antoniou, who is the CEO and Charter Director of Blu Cove Yachting, a company in Greece. She has vast experience in this field, close to 17 years. So I'm certain that she will bring a lot of value to this interview and share a lot of valuable advice with us today. Just to shift the questions to Ms. Leta. Ms. Leta, could you please briefly introduce yourself to us and tell us a little bit about your company, what you do, what you offer as services, and where exactly you operate?
My company is called Blu Cove Yachting, and we are based in Athens, Greece, but we are a worldwide company because our retail clients who charter yachts, they do not only charter yachts in East Med Greece, but also West Med, Croatia, Cyprus, Caribbean, Alaska, and anywhere in the world there is sea and there are yachts, and the client would like to have a yacht charter. And we offer luxury yacht charters and sales.
Mm-hmm. So from what I can see, even though you're restricted to physically, let's say Athens and Greece, your business is quite an international scale business where you deal with customers from all over the world. Personally, I would like to add that and I had the pleasure of working with Leta on some projects, and I can vouch for her professionalism and expertise in this field. So thank you, Leta, for joining us. Now, moving on to the subject, the main subject of our webinar, which is Yacht Chef. I understand that basically chartering a yacht is a very complex process in essence. So you have, as you mentioned, customers and clients from different parts of the world who all have varying demands and requirements, and it's your responsibility to match them to the right supply. So basically provide them with the right experience so that they leave happy. Now, putting this into context of yacht chefs, right? What would you say is the importance of the role of the chef on a luxury yacht in this perspective? What kind of, sorry, yeah, go ahead.
So, let me make a small briefing before I go into this. Mm-hmm. Our goal is to offer a high-end service to our clients. We are proud to offer our reliable and personalized services to guests all over the world. So, with an honest approach to the needs of the charterers on board and in continuous support to offer services by the yacht crew, which are tailor-made, is to keep them happy guests on board who enjoy charter holidays with lifetime experiences. All crew, a good chef on board is a very important thing next to the captain. We also need a very good captain on board to navigate the yacht safely around the places, and he needs to know his way around so the trip can be safe. Next to the captain, in cooperation with the owner, it's the chef. The chef must be good and expert and to be very successful to his job. And this way it will offer the yachts a pleasurable experience. Food is a very important factor, and a good chef understands that he needs to work long hours, less sleep, and he will work proximity to other stuff. But he needs to know his job very well so he can please the palate even of the most difficult guest on board, or the owner, if the owner is on board. He offers. There are many meals on board. There is breakfast, there is snacks, there is lunch, appetizers in between, snacks, dinner, snacks, appetizers, cheese platters. So it's a continuous jobs. And whatever is served on board can make the difference between a great and an incredible experience. The chef is considered a very important person because he creates wonderful dishes for the charterer, his family, and his guests. And he also preparing the crew meals, which are also very important, but they are prepared on a different time and they are served on a different time. So, and while they are at sea, and with the aid of the fresh air and the various calories that they burn swimming and enjoying themselves, and every guest being in a relaxation mode, the appetite is increasing. So the chef and the crew who assist the chef must equip the galley, and they must have perfect timing and adapt dishes to individual taste and regions, sourcing some of the most delicious provisions available in familiar or unfamiliar regions, because all charters are not in Greece. Some charters are somewhere that they cannot provision easily. The chef must have an adaptive ability, and that only goes to the very experienced chef, which they are able to restock the inventory in different locations and still provide the guests with the cuisine they require in a very small
space and time,
space and provisions.
It is very interesting, and we can clearly see that it's quite a demanding job, let's say, that requires you to be very flexible, I guess highly skilled, and it certainly has its differences from, let's say, being a chef ashore. Because of the restrictions that apply to a yacht as well. And as you've said, also the fact that you're constantly moving locations, which is indeed something that you need to adjust to in order to resupply the vessel, let's say, when the groceries run out. Now, since we've covered that, what would you say is your main criteria used for hiring a chef, a yacht chef? Do you look at specific areas such as prior experience, certification, certain training they've done?
Well, the first qualification of the chef at sea is not the physical qualification, but rather a mental attitude. This is the ability to commit to long hours, little sleep, and working in close proximity to other staff. With grand expectations, special requests, and quick turnaround times to contend with, super yacht chefs find themselves under intense pressure. The mental strength to live on a yacht full-time is key to a long and successful career. A head chef will be expected to have advanced skills in all forms of cuisines, including specialist diets and desserts, plus the ability to be creative and adaptive when faced with a depleted store or limited ingredients, like I said before. The main goal is to keep the guest and our owner on board happy. Cooking for guests with whatever their heart desires. Most owners or charter guests have very distinctive palates and they know what they like and what they don't like. So before the charter, we give them a preference list. Each guest on board reads that preference list. After they carefully read it, they reply and they provide the chef and whatever the preference list says, the chef cooks and creates based on that preference list. So he prepares dishes that will that they are very tasty, beautifully decorated. They will match the taste and habits of all guests on board, from a senior citizen to an athlete to children, and all guests with health problems, gluten-free problems, or preferences that are outlined in the preference list.
It is very interesting, Leta. Very interesting.
Also, he must, a very important factor that we need to have for the chef, it's hygiene. It's very important issue on board. A chef must be a proud chef and show off his immaculate galley. It says a lot about the chef, whether it's a male or a female. It says a lot about his work ethics. A luxury yacht needs to have a clean kitchen area, and he needs to show it off to the guest. So, and when he's using organic, local, and seasonal products, it will benefit the yacht. It will benefit the way they cook, the way the chef cooks dishes for chef. Of course, local food is fresher and higher quality, and the biggest challenge can be budgeting and provisioning efficiently with top quality products to last them for the majority of the charter.
So from what I see, that also besides being a challenging job for a yacht chef, it's also an opportunity, a great opportunity for somebody who is passionate about this career to put themselves in this kind of environment where they can continuously show their skills and grow their skills as well as part of the process. Okay. Thank you for that, Leta. And looking back at last season, I know that you were representing luxury yacht Andrea in Athens, in Greece, and her chef Mattheos Divanis won the third place in category A of the chef's competition at the annual Mediterranean Yacht Show. So first of all, congratulations for that achievement. What do you think was the secret behind his success? Could you tell us a little bit more about the competition itself and what the purpose is of such events and how often they are organized?
Well, his success secret, okay, let's start from the beginning. The participating chefs of last year's competition, because this year, unfortunately, due to the COVID-19, all charter yacht shows were cancelled, and they embraced the theme of gourmet beach food with great enthusiasm. Using their extensive skill and experience to present exquisite dishes that left the attending judges thoroughly impressed. I think that was one of the reasons that they were very impressed with his plate. Chef Mattheos, he prepared shrimp with tartar sauce. It was very tasty and it was very creative to become street food. So the judges were very amazed with his creative and unique approach to this particular thing. Mattheos is a really talented chef. He has a great culinary knowledge. He's creative and he's very capable of working under pressure. I believe that his success secret is the attention to detail. His plate was beautiful because we were in the show when we saw it closely. And his creative culinary skills in the taste and originality. So we were very impressed and very happy that Mattheos received the award. It was a very, we were all very happy, and we were very impressed with his culinary skills. Summer season 2019 was a great season for Mattheos Divanis and the motor yacht he represented in the show, Motor Yacht Andrea. And we have had many successful charters. Chef Mattheos in the guest comment book received only positive and very kind comments from his guests. All guests who came on board praised and praised and praised and emphasized his excellent skills, positive attitude, and creativity.
This is great. I mean, we sort of have a really good example of how somebody can progress and succeed in their career, like Mattheos, for example. I would like to take a moment here, a small pause, and I would like to inform our audience that we at Sabridge, we specialize in online training, and we had the pleasure of working with Mattheos Divanis in developing a course, an online course specifically designed for those looking to become yacht chefs. So this is something that we'll come back to at the end of the interview. So for now, I would like to proceed with another question for Leta. As we understand, you play a vital role between the yacht owner and the actual guests. Could you maybe share with us some very unique food requirements that you received over the last years, either from the guests or from the owners of the yacht?
I'm sorry. Can you please repeat that? Because
Sure. We basically we understand your position and your role as being between the yacht owner and the guests, right? And our question is, given your experience in this field, could you please share with us some unique food requirements that you've received either from the guests or from the owners of the yachts?
Sure. Every charter is tailor-made. So no charters are alike. Different locations, different guests on board, but same chef. Different preference list. So every charter receives a preference list about a month prior to charter. In this list, the main guest, the main charterer, must fill in the information that he prefers: likes, dislikes, allergies, medical conditions, special requests for older adults or children, and information that we all need to know, that I need to know, Matteo needs to know, the captain needs to know, the stewardess needs to know, by the guest about food habits, drink habits, anything that has to do for all guests on board, and of course, type of cuisine that they would like to have on board. So it is a very good outline for us to get to know all the guests who will be on board before they come on board. Some of them have unique food. Some preference lists are normal. For normal people, normal food, normal everything. Some people have different tastes and services. And on board the yacht, when people come in and they write in the preference list, they ask us for different services. They may ask us for a French service, that they want to see the food to finish in front of the guest. For Russian service, crew serves every guest separately. Buffet service, self-service with assistance of the crew, or informal service, everything in the middle and everyone eats. So, from French service, Russian service, through traditional silver and buffet service, the chef will be expected to perform some or all of these services to the highest level with the assistance of the chief stewardess, according to the charterer's request for a special occasion, birthday, anniversary, wedding, proposal, etc. Religious dietary regulations like kosher cuisine, halal food, Arabic, which means no pork, gluten-free, special dietary requirements for allergies. It's very important, and guests must always inform the brokers via the preference list that they are asked to fill out 1 month prior to the charter, or in the commencement of the charter. We need to be informed of any specialty so we can adjust the food by the chef. The yacht service, it's much more intimate, even on board the large super yachts, which makes presentation essential. The chief steward is the chef's assistant. So she must have the lookout and advise him when it is time to proceed to the next plate, when we are collecting plates, when it's time to serve lunch, dinner, next plate, or finalize everything.
Thank you, Leta. You know, in listening to you, I'm quite amazed as to how much effort is really and responsibility lies with a yacht chef. You know, it's unlike in, let's say, a typical restaurant that where you would go to on a weekend or on a weekly day and the menu is predefined and set. I can see that, you know, as a yacht chef, there's never a predefined and set menu. You have to adapt frequently throughout the year depending on your guests. And just out of curiosity, it could be, I think, 10 or 12 or 14 different guests on every single yacht, right? Charter.
Exactly. For a yacht like Andrea, it's 12 to 14 maximum, but smaller yachts, smaller people. But we need to be account for 14 guests, and we need to account for 6 people crew.
Yeah. And there are specific requirements, of course, as well. As you said, there are specific preferences. Okay, since you know you're exposed to a large number of clients, and I'm sure that over the 17 years of your experience in the industry, you've seen all sorts of requests and preferences from guests. Do you maybe yourself have, let's say, a favorite menu on board?
Oh, I have many favorite menus on board. Every chef of the 8 yachts that I am central agent has a unique menu. But let's talk about my favorite menu, which must have creativity and imagination. Okay, a plate that will really give me that I will give the thumbs up must be in order for me to call it successful, it must be creative and it must have a lot of imagination, which means delicious plate, beautifully decorated. A yacht cuisine competes with a 5-star hotel. Therefore, the food quality and the food presentation must be a high standard quality in taste and in presentation. My favorite menu on board is a regular breakfast with fresh fruits and fresh juice. My favorite juice is the ABC juice, which is very popular lately. It is apple, beet, and carrot. Homemade yogurt with various seeds, toppings, chia, pistachio, almonds, honey, eggs, variously cooked. who made banana bread, who made croissant, who made bread, who made everything, who made pies with spinach and feta and halloumi and pancakes, waffle. All of these, I don't eat all of them, but I do taste to see what they are. For lunch, I have many favorites again. Eggplant mousse, dip, salads with organic products, quinoa salads, greens and shrimp, or cretan daco salad with finely chopped tomatoes, caper and feta cheese, Greek cuisine that is converted to Mediterranean cuisine, such as octopus with fava from Santorini, which is split pea really, with caramelized onions and vegetable rolls, and vegetable rolls with seafood or stuffed squid with Cypriot halloumi cheese, fresh herbs served on mashed Jerusalem artichoke or Greek way risotto with also shrimps and fennel, traditional Greek pastry, etc., etc. These are some of my favorite. There are more, but these are some of my favorites. But every yacht has a very capable chef. Some of them have men, some of them have women, and each one of them has a different way of creating dishes and can take the same ingredients and give it to a chef, and each one of them will present it on their own unique way, their own ingredients, and they will make a beauty out of everything. Those chefs can really take rocks and make them gourmet, all of them.
Well, besides the fact that you certainly made me a little bit more hungry than I was by stating all those dishes, I can quite see that you're in a great position. You know, being surrounded by such high-profile chefs that are capable to surprise you with high quality and interesting dishes on a daily basis.
And I haven't even said the word about dinner or about desserts. Asparagus salad with strawberries and almonds, balsamic vinegar and Greek caramelized goat cheese, or baby araguila salad with Parmesan cheese, or garter salad with beetroot trilogy, sea bass carpaccio, grilled shrimps, teriyaki sauce, or sauté scallop with pea puree, fresh oven broiled fish with herbs, preferably the Greek stamnagati, or fresh salt crusted fish in oven. And for those who love meat, marinated lamb legs with mint and white wine served with baby potatoes, oven grilled with rosemary, or baby lamb shanks served on mashed eggplant with sesame pasta sauce, homemade sorbet, ice cream, lemon pie, and 1,000 more sweets that I can tell you right now, but I will not, because
it's a long list.
I will not be able to finish the interview because my mouth started drooling.
And I can say to if in the audience we have any aspiring yacht chefs or existing yacht chefs, this is what you will have to prepare, according to that. Okay. Thank you very much, Leda, for answering our questions. I think we're done with questions from our side, and we have an opportunity for our guests to ask Ms. Leta any questions they would like.
Before we close, can I please mention something?
Sure, absolutely.
About the chef competitions. I would like to say something. Every year there are many charter yacht shows all over the world. There are yacht shows in Spain, in Italy, in France, in Greece, in Croatia, in Turkey, in US Fort Lauderdale, in US Miami, in US Rhode Island, in Antigua, everywhere around the world. And every yacht charter show has a chef competition in that show. The reason we have that is because we as retail charter brokers and charter managers, first of all, we need to see what chefs around the world cook for their clients, and then this acquaint us with a yacht chef. Therefore, when I have a client and he wants to charter a yacht in Antigua, let's say, which is so far away, and I know which yachts are in Antigua, I do have an idea that Chef X is in Antigua and is doing a charter there. Therefore, I know that he has cooked. I've been to the competition. I've been to the yacht charter show. I spoke with him because I visited the yacht. This way, in my notes, I have very good recommendation for this particular chef. So I feel safe to present the yacht with the chef to my client. The same thing goes to all the people who visit the yacht charter show. This is the purpose of the yacht charter shows, is to familiarize ourselves with the yacht and the yacht chef and the crew, the captain and the crew, so we can feel at ease when we offer a yacht. We know that the yacht is capable to entertain and to tailor-made a charter suitable for our client. I want happy clients on my yachts as CA, but I also want happy clients of mine to other yachts as a retail charter broker.
Thank you very much, Leta, for this additional tip that you just gave us. From what I can see, it's useful. It's a useful tip to both other operators such as yourself and also to yacht chefs. As so, the events are basically means of exposure for them, and it's also means of you acquiring the knowledge of how to best tailor your service to your clients. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. I'm sure our audience will find it very useful. Now, I'm moving the questions to our audience now. On the right, you will all see a chat. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to just type it out, and one by one, Ms. Leta will answer them. And we'll have a first question here from Yana. She's asking us how many chefs usually work on a yacht, and do they have assistants?
It depends on how large the yacht is. If it is a small yacht, it's only one. If it's a medium yacht, only one. If it's a yacht up to 36, 40 meter, one. From 45 meters and over, it might be a chef and a sous chef. It depends on the manning of the yacht. If the larger the yacht is, the more people they have on board, and the more chefs they have on board. But usually up to about 45 to 50, it's only one, and the assistant to the chef, it's usually the stewardesses that they help him with the preparation and with the cleaning of everything on board after the meal, because there are many meals and one chef on a 36-meter yacht cannot do it alone. He needs assistance from the stewardesses.
Okay. Thank you for that, Ms. Leta. And we have a next question from Paolo. How long is normally a period out?
A period out means a charter period.
Dear Paolo, maybe you could clarify that in the chat if you're still with us. Yes. So
a charter period. We have small charters that are 2 days, 4 days, but most of the charters are week-long charters. And the next charter is sometimes has 2 days in between. Sometimes it is back-to-back. When it is back-to-back, it's a very tiring charter. I mean, you finish one charter and immediately you start on another charter, which means that you have to plan everything. You have to be a very good planner, and you need any assistance that you can have from the central agent. So, little bit before the charter ends, you have the preference list in your hands, and we assist you with all the provisioning that you need to have on board. So the moment the yacht pulls in, immediately trucks start coming in, delivering provisioning, meat, fish, fresh produce, everything that you need for the next charter.
Okay, I think there was a follow-up question from Paolo as well, asking basically, so normally you just shop once before leaving, and you did answer this question, I believe.
Yes, well, you shop for the charter that you are living with. But if you know you have a back-to-back charter and you have the preference list already in hand, you do some shopping and you put it aside for the next charter. So you need less when you come in. But you do not mix the two charters because each charter has their own disbursement account. So different disbursement account for the one charter, different disbursement account for the next charter. And you try to combine both charters and keep everyone happy.
Thank you very much. I hope this answered your questions, dear Paolo. And we have Maria next, asking if there is a big demand for chefs in the yachting industry.
We can never have enough. We can never have enough. There is a big demand of chef in the yachting industry, and but we do not have a big demand of any chef. We have big demand for good chef because it's different. It's different if you are working in a restaurant, and it's different if you are working on a yacht. It's two different things. So if you must be really good to be able to work in a small space and to make the best out of it and to serve everyone and to be creative and to stay up late and to do things. We are in need of good chefs, because if you don't cook well, we might receive a phone call and we might be obliged to replace you on the next port. And a lot of times we find out about any mishap before the chef actually finds out. So chef, before anyone else finds out, because the charterer goes to his broker and says, problem. And they write to me. So I immediately call the chef and I say, what happened? What is going on? Let's correct it. Let's see how we can fix it. It was a wrong moment. So we are in need of good chefs with beautiful charters, beautiful food, happy guests on board, happy guests disembark, and return clients for all of us, for the yacht, for the owner, for us, for everyone.
Okay. And thank you, Leta. And we have another question from Paolo. What kind of contract a chef normally has, monthly or for each quarter? So is it a monthly contract or quarterly?
Well, this really depends. This really depends between his communication with the owner. What my role is to provide the captain and the owner recommendations of good chef. The captain provides recommendation of good chef. The owner has 2 or 3 CVs that he wants to see. So we have 6 chefs, and all 6 of them cook, and one gets the job. The one that gets the job, when it comes to sign a contract, he discusses salary and he discusses the contract with the owner. and they decide. Definitely, they don't have a monthly one or for every charter. Usually, of what I hear, they have, some of them have yearly contracts, some of them have 6-month contract, and they renew as they go on. But a contract is a contract. What if the chef is not proven as a good chef? A contract is null and void. So he must go home for many reasons, whether he does not perform his job well, or whether he becomes sick, or whether he's having nausea or whatever. When it is, even on a contract, when it is time to move on to a new chef, it is time.
Okay, thank you, Leta. I think that was pretty clear and answered Paula's question. I don't know if we have any more. Just check here quickly. I think this is it from the questions from the audience. I would like to thank you, Leta, very much for joining us today. It was very interesting to listen to your expertise, and I'm confident that, well, myself included, that we gained some useful knowledge today from you. I would also like to use this moment to once again mention that we as SafeBridge have created a course which is tailored at preparing chefs for this kind of career on luxury yachts. It's going to be a series of courses with 2 of the courses already public. One you may see on your screen now, and please feel free to download the information. So this is something that was designed in collaboration with actual real yacht chefs working on board. So it's really tailored to give you the knowledge that you require if you would like to start this new and exciting career in accordance to what Leta has described it to be. So once again, I would like to thank everybody, and a special thanks once again to Leta. Thank you very much for joining us, and I hope you stay well and safe as well during the ongoing crisis, let's say. The same goes to the audience, and we hope to see you again in our next live interview series.
Thank you very much for hosting me, and I hope I have given you a brief look of the important job of a chef on board, and I would be more than happy to assist you with any other position on board as well. If you need to know the qualifications that a chef needs to have on board, he does need to have. The chef needs to have. This is the final thing. I don't know if we mentioned that. The chef does need to have some certificates. Health certificate, his culinary certificates that make him a chef, and he also needs to have the fire drill, the STCW, which is a very short course. He needs to have 3 different certificates in order to be on board the yacht. So he needs to keep in mind that we need that on board before any other thing.
Okay, thank you very much, Leta. We can see that there are some also some proof that the chef will have to provide, basically confirming his knowledge and level of skill on going on board, both from safety and culinary perspectives.
Yes, and health certificate.
And health certificates as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Leta.
Plus his CV with a photo and references, and his ability to cook in front of the owner to prove himself on what he can do.
Okay. Thank you, Leta, for that little addition. I think it's time for us to close the session this time. I hope that everybody in attending this webinar enjoyed it. And once again, big thank you, Leta, for joining us today. It was a pleasure.
You are very welcome. It is my pleasure to be here, and thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Leta. Thank you very much. Goodbye for now.